In this video, I want to talk about your dryer, and more specifically, I want to talk about your dryer's lint trap. And even more specifically, I want to talk about how these dryer sheets can affect this filter right here in your lint trap and affect the efficiency of the dryer itself, and in some cases can even cause it to break. So as you can see, this is pretty much what it looks like after you do a load of laundry and clean all of the lint out of your dryer lint trap. Obviously, your lint trap might look different than this, but in general, if you take a real close look, this screen right here is a very, very fine screen. And what can happen if you use dryer sheets like this has some chemicals on it that can eventually clog up this tiny screen. So why is that bad? Well, with your dryer, it is moving air constantly to dry your clothes, so it needs an exhaust. It goes outside, so there's kind of like a flow to the air. And if that air can't get outside, then that motor in your dryer is going to work even harder to try and push. So that's why you need to clean this every single time you do a load of laundry. If this gets built up with lint, it will affect it also. If there's a ton of lint in here, there's no way for that air to get out of the house, then your motor could be working harder, and that could affect the efficiency, and in extreme circumstances, which I've actually experienced it can just completely break your dryer. So looking at this filter, it looks fairly clean, but if we do a test, you can see that it's actually not that clean. So I'm just gonna do a little trickle of water like this, and I'm gonna run it under here. And as you can see, that water just kind of runs along the top of the lint trap. So this pool of water right here is telling me that if water can't get through this, then air is probably going to have a hard time as well. So I recommend once a month to just clean it the way I'm going to show you, and that way your dryer can work the way it was meant to work and not have any issues. So I'm going to run some warm water, and I'm just going to get this nice and wet. And then this side, you can see that water kind of runs right off of this. And look right here. Water is getting through, but that is a big pool of water just sitting on top there. So we'll do a test afterwards and see if this does affect it. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of mild dish soap to all these screens, and you can take a toothbrush and just scrub this. Just be careful because this screen is a little fragile. And I actually have a really cool tool that I can use for this, the battery-powered scrubber. But you don't need it. It'll just make it way easier. And obviously, if you have lint built up on the sides, like this, you want to get everything you can while you're doing this. But definitely concentrating on these screens or filters right here. And we can flip this over. Do the same thing on the other side. And then you can rinse everything down. So now, just as a test, let's dry one of these, just like it was before. Depending on how bad this is, you might have to do it a couple times, but let's do a test. That looks pretty clean. It looked clean before too, but let's do the real test. Just do a trickle. See, it does go right through. Okay, so I cleaned this one screen again, just to see if that would help. I think that is much better. It's going to be hard to tell because this is a very fine screen, but move this around, that water can definitely get through. So yours might be a lot worse than this, or it might not be as bad, but regardless, doing this, cleaning your filter, is always a good idea for your dryer. I'm just going to try and get this somewhat dry. It doesn't have to be 100%. And again, you can do this as many times as you want. Just be careful, don't damage the screen. You can throw this back in here, and you should be in a much better spot with your dryer. Hopefully, this video helped. If you didn't know, now you know. Thanks for watching.